What? What?
You were born in the Magdalen Islands, were you?
Yeah. I was born in Madeline Island in 1926, 21st of April. I came to PDI in 1939, and I went to the vocation school to take an English course, and I had that done, and then after that, I went to work at the Lincoln Motel for 29 years. I worked at Stedman store, and I worked Smallman's lunch counter, and I worked at Seabrook's plant in New Anna, and I worked at the Titan restaurant when Jimmy McLean was running the restaurant. And I worked at the old Bonnie Bray on Central Street for quite a while. And then I worked 8 years at the old Clifton Hotel. And I worked at the Journal for a while. And when I first come to the island, I stayed with old Mark Delaney. And from there, he sent me to school. They were awful nice people. Them days, in 1939, the war was on, and I traveled from the old car ferry from Madeline, and you had to sleep in the bunk. It used to take 3 days to come from Pictou to Madeline Island. And there was hardly any cars, probably a couple of Model T, all horse and sleigh and wagon. And it didn't take me long to make friends. And then I got married in 49 of December in 1950. And that's the biggest mistake I ever made. I was 24-year-old, I should have waited longer than that. That's about all the news I have for now. That's enough. Why can you put yourself there? You don't have to hold the camera.
My name's Wayne, and I like chasing girls all the time. What do you think of that?
Ah, that's a lot. You should have said when I was a young boy I fell off of the roof in an apartment. Then when I was 4-year-old I got bit by a dog. I almost lost my nose. I'm not talking there now.
What kind of life do you want for Desiree?
What kind of a life?
What kind of life would you like to see for Desiree?
What kind of a life was for Desiree?
What kind of life would you like her to have?
Me?
Yeah. What kind of life would you like Desiree to have when...
I would like to have Desiree to have a good life because she didn't have a very good life when she was a kid. So anyway, things turned out good because she went away and worked in Alberta, and then she finds she had a nice boyfriend there, and then she got back to the island, and she got a nice boyfriend now, good to her and everything, and she lives in Surrey and getting along great. She's going to UPI school, and I hope she makes it. And Debbie's gone on the trip to Florida, and with her driving with the truck and the motorcycle, I hope they have a good vacation. I'll be glad when she comes back. That's all. Where was I? Well, I I was born in the Madeline Island, and when I was a kid, it's not like the children today. We had to scrub the floor before we went to school. And we had to wash all the dishes. My father used to get up in the morning, early, and he'd make the porridge and the toast. He had our breakfast ready. And after that, we had to clean up the house before we went to school. But I was the only one that led up scrubbing the floor, because my sister Della and Millie, they were kind of big shot. They were going to the convent in Surrey, and they used to come home for a while. So I was the only one that was doing the dirty work. So my mother always put me in charge of everything. She used to get me to work in the bakery, and she'd get me to do all kinds of work and make breads and pies and everything. And besides, I had to take all the kids, the younger ones, and go and pick blueberries. So she'd make some blueberry pie for the fishermen from Caracat, New Brunswick. So anyway, and then when I was about going on 11 years old, I was looking after an old woman that was sick. And her husband used to run a store in the Grand Entry. So I used to stay with her, and I used to feed the hen. They had a small farm, and I used to feed the hen and the pig and milk the cow, make butter, and put the cream in the separator, and make some buttermilk and all that stuff. And I used to get $15 a month for doing that. And I used to bring butter home and eggs and buttermilk and all that. That was on the farm. So anyway, I was now going on 11 years old. I decided I'll quit. And I'll come to the island, because there was an old couple. They were Mark Delaney and his wife. She was a cut girl from Wellington. He was married to her. And she wanted me to come and look after Austin's two kids. They lived by the old post office, and they had the apartment upstairs, and Mark Delaney lived downstairs. And they had a nurse by the name of Barbara, and they had another nurse by the name of Gladys, and they had another nurse, Marie Wedge. She was married to Henry Wedge. And they were all working at the Prince County Hospital on Central Street. So finally, when I got old enough, I went to work at the old Prince County Hospital too. And you had to be on the job at 6 o'clock in the morning, and you only get $10 a week. And I stayed there for a while. I decided I was offered a job for a cook at the old Clifton Hotel for $25 a week, and I took that. That was my last job. Then I worked for the Lincoln Hotel for 29 years. But anyway, in the Madeline Islands, there was no car, there was a couple of horse, and you had to take the ferry, a little ferry, to go from one island to the other. And when I left home, I never saw all the island in the Madeline Islands, because I was young and I was too busy with my mother's work. My father used to run a smoke factory, and he used to get me over there to put the fresh herring, hook them up on the rods so you can smoke them. I had about 50 herring on one rod, and I was only getting a penny for it. By the end of the week, I had about 50 pennies. That was only about 50 cents. So I didn't get the money. My father used to put a fellow that owns the factory, he ran a grocery store, so my father took a 50 cent and put it on his grocery bill. So anyway, after I was in the at Prince Edward Island for a year. I went home, a friend of mine that used to be when she was young, she was the same age as I was, and she had to have an operation in Quebec City. So I looked after a little girl while she was gone. So anyway, after she came back from Quebec City Hospital, I had enough money to get back on the ferry and come back to PI. And I've been here ever since. So anyway, my husband died in 1987. And I had a daughter, Judy, and Bernie, and Diane, and Wayne, and Debbie, and Sheila. All together I had 7 kids. And now they're all grown up. So Desiree came along, and she always made her home here. She's enjoying this home very good. She's happy when she's here. And, well, I used to go to Madeline quite often when I was working. I was going on vacation and that, and so, well, now I don't go that much. I don't go to Madeline Island that much because I'm getting old. It's tiresome, 5 hours and a half on the boat, and all my mother and fathers were gone, and most of the people I know they're all gone, so I'm not very interested to go there. So that's part of my story, because if I wrote anything about my life, or write a book, or put it on tape, it takes me a long while to put things together. So I just can't be bothered with it. So, that's all. I'm not talking anymore. Because I'm getting horsed up.
Well, hello. I guess it's my turn to say a few words. My name's Wayne. I'm part of this family too. I'm like the old grouch in the family. I growl at my sisters sometimes. Things aren't going right with them. Preach to them. They hate to hear me preaching. I do it anyway. I try to tell them stuff that may make their lives better. They don't always listen to me though. I lived a good life. I live here looking after my mother. My sisters all had their own lives, husbands and whatnot. My niece Desiree lived here one time with us. I got really attached to her. She's like a daughter to me. She's found a good guy now. Treats her pretty good. And hopefully, someday there'll be a marriage there. She deserves to be happy too. I'm back again for another few minutes till somebody else wants to talk. I guess I'll talk a little about me. I was married once, had 2 kids, Angela and Keith. And the marriage didn't work out. Of course, divorce affects everybody. Kids don't come around anymore. It's too bad. We all lose when that happens. And for many years I was a bartender. I spent 22 years at it. I like working with the public. But like everything else, you get older, it gets on your nerves. So I got a job with the forestry department now, and I like it, working outside, looking after the government lands, planting trees, cutting down the bad ones. It's a good job. And I also had a daughter, Celine, by another relationship after me and the wife separated. She's 24 now. She's living over in New Brunswick. And for a lot of years I had a little dog here named Candy. Last summer she passed away. She was 15. My mother was really attached to her. She just couldn't get over not having Candy around, so I guess the only way I could solve that is go out and buy another little dog, same kind, looks just like Candy. And that was the best medicine for Mother, you know. Now she's okay again, and she's fussing over this new little dog. Called him Biscuit. Biscuit and Candy always like hot biscuits coming out of the oven with butter, so I figured Biscuits is a good name for this second dog. And he's a handful, I tell you. Everybody likes him. Hopefully he'll live a long age too, like Candy did. I don't know whether the rest of us around here be still living when that little dog's around, but anyway. Anyway, I guess that's all I have to say right now, and I think anything else, I'll be back.
Biscuit. Oh, pretty boy. Your name Biscuit? Are you a good boy? You like going to the park? You like driving in the car? You like having a bath? You want a cookie? Do you like a cookie? Where's the ball? Go find the ball. Ed, what? Tell your stories. What? Tell your stories. I'll tell the story how I met Sonny. Yeah. Ha! Well, before I met Sonny, I didn't even know what kind of man he was, or where he came from, or nothing. Well, anyway, one night, on a Sunday night, I went to an A meeting at the fire hall. And this big fella was behind the desk, and he was doing a lot of talking. But I didn't know who it was. So anyway, after the meeting was over, I left and I started walking down the hallway. So I met Lester McDonald, and he was having a smoke, and he started talking. So I was having a smoke too. So all of a sudden, this big fellow come down the hallway, and he started talk, and he kept staring at me. I just wondered why he was staring at me. Did he know me? I didn't know him. So anyway, I had my smoke, and I said to myself, well, I guess I'll go home. And he said to me, are you walking or you driving? And I said, no, I'm walking. Do you want to drive home? And I said, no. So when we got outside, he said, would you like to go for coffee? Well, I said, probably so. I said, are you married? And he said, no, I'm not married, I'm single. Well, I guess I'll go for coffee. So anyway, he took me home after coffee. And he never said a word. That I thought, well, it was just a friendly evening or something. So the next day, it was Monday, he worked for the Journal. And the phone rang, and that was Sonny. And he said, what are you doing tonight? And I said, I'm going to St. Paul meeting. He said, I'll meet you there. But I was sitting at the meeting and waiting for Sonny and wait, and he never showed up. I thought to myself, well, that's all right. Probably he forgot all about it. So anyway, he was outside and he got lost. You know where the meeting was. So finally he met somebody on the street and they told him where the meeting was. So anyway, that was it. So we've been going together for quite a while. And, well, now he's not working anymore. He's on pension and we get along pretty good. Sometimes we have a little scrape over something, but we forget all about it. That's the story how I met Sonny. That's it. Anything else you want to know?
Talk about Santa Claus.
Oh yeah. This is another story. When I was working at the Lincoln Motel, my last year that I worked there, they wanted me to dress as Santa Claus. And I said, no, I'm not going to dress as Santa Claus. So anyway, Ashley said, why don't you dress up and we'll have some fun? So we didn't have a suit. We called everywhere. We couldn't find one. They were all rented. So Ashley said, I got an old pair of pajamas to Santa Claus, got the cap and everything. She said, it might fit you. So she took it over the next day. So we went to the Met and we bought some cotton, white cotton, and we bought a Santa Claus hat. And we made some kind of a mask around my face, put the white bib and all over, and then tried the cap, and it fit. So we took an old black plastic bag, and we made a pair of boots. So I put it over my shoes, and I dressed as Santa Claus. So anyway, that night it was the party at the Leclerc in the coach room. So anyway, nobody knew. I thought I was going to dress as Santa Claus. But Betty Noonan said, before I got there as Santa Claus, she told everybody, she said, we're not having Santa Claus, we couldn't get one. So she said, would somebody want to volunteer to pass around the gift? Said all of a sudden I walked in, and I said Charlie Linklater was there, standing there, and his wife, and they made a speech. So I sat on the chair and the table, everybody was having a drink. Nobody knew who I was. But then Charlie Linklater said, well, we got a Santa Claus here, you might as well come up here and talk. So anyway, first thing I did, I told a story one time that the girl was mad at me because they wasn't mad at me, but they was mad at everybody. They blame everybody that somebody put a sign on the wall everywhere in the girl's sitting room and the kitchen and the laundry and the restroom. And they blame Alir Gallant, they blame Bill Walsh, they blame Charlie Linklater, but they never blamed me because they didn't know I did it. So then when I said I had a sign, I told them at the Christmas party that the one that put the sign on the wall, I said, that's me, the Santa Claus. And I said, I just put them sign on as a joke. But I said, one day Mr. Linklater come down the laundry and he said to me, Marie, what do you think of those signs on the wall? Oh, I said, it's just a joke. So anyway, I said, I didn't know. He said, I was going to get them out, he said, to take the fingerprint off of that sign. But I started to think it might be somebody that I know that put that sign up. And I wouldn't want that person to get in trouble. So anyway, I said I was the one, I said I put the sign up, but I said I just wanted to have a little bit of fun, because I said the girl was always complaining about something, so I thought I'd give him something to complain about. So, anyway, Lillian one was mad and all up and all the chambermaids mad. So anyway, Don Harris was there and he said, I know who Santa Claus is. He said, we better give her a drink on the house, because he said, I think she got more to say than that. So, what else now? So after I finished talking, Charlie Linklater got on the speaker, and he said, I had an idea, he said, that I was Marie, because he said, when I went to the laundry, she took that pretty cool, he said. She never complained about that sign, and I just wondered, said, that there might be Marie that does that just for fun. And he said, God bless her, he said. I didn't do anything about it. And so here we are, Marie made a full confession. So, had a drink, and old Mrs. Moe took all the picture of me, and I said, I start to say, hey ho ho ho. And half of the time it was a hey hey and no ho. I was half drunk, I didn't know what was coming or going, and then I started passing the candy around, calling the name, and then after that, they all wanted to take a picture, and I said the white beard was all twisted, and the whole mass was twisted, I look awful. So that's the story about Santa Claus. And then that's another story about when Wayne was 4-year-old, I used to work at the journal building. I used to go there and scrub all the office. And they had these great big rough board on the floor. You had to scrub it with a scrubbing brush and scrape the gum and everything. And I said there was a fellow upstairs that used to run the machine, print machine. Wayne used to play with the little, the lid that was on the floor, so it looked like a little man, because they used to advertise on the paper. And I said, after I finished work, you'd be sound asleep on the floor. So anyway, Helen Gillis used to be working in the office. I went down there, I thought she was gone, but she was still there. So anyway, I started cleaning her office, I cleaned her desk and everything, shined it up and everything, and she kept talking. So I went into Mungo's office and I cleaned that too. I was just wondering if she was going to leave or not, but she was still there. So when I was ready to go home, I went upstairs, didn't know Wayne was up there. So I took Wayne and I started walking home. I used to live right across from Sobeys store on Water Street. So that's another story. When I was then I worked at Jenkins' factory. And it was an old fellow. His name was Duggan. And he used to carry his Bible to the factory every morning, and he walked down the track. And I used to walk behind him. We had to be at work at 7:30. And there he was on the track with his Bible, and then he was saying, "On the hill far away stood an old rugged cross." And I said to myself, I didn't know who he was. And he lived in that building next to me. And he had a girlfriend by the name of Edna. And I too, they used to sing to him all day long in the factory. So then I met old Willis Brown and Bessie Parrish used to carry the chicken. We used to take the kitchen apart. And then Laura Champion was working there, and Clara that lived on Market Street. So I used to fill up my bowl with the chicken after I took it apart. Then Bill Jenkins, you say, "Murray, it's time for you to go on the scale to help the women weigh the chicken can." So anyway, that was a great place to work. We all had a lot of fun. One time, Bill Jenkins had a meeting. Everybody wanted to raise. And I said, one woman said, "We better get a raise because the beans are gone up." Well, I said, "I don't buy bean in the can." I said, "I cooked them, homemade." Bill Jenkins said, "Well, what I'm going to do, whoever picks the most chicken, most pound of chicken, put the bone in the container, and then whoever got the most bone gets $5 a week." And see, I thought that was great. I just always skinned my fingers to get. I got 26 pounds. That filled up the dish. But I'm telling you, while I was picking the chicken, I let an awful lot of juice drop in the plastic dish. I got $5, and everybody was mad. I think that's enough. One year at Christmas time, the girl was complaining that the staff room didn't look like Christmas. So anyway, I went to Kelly's flower shop, and I bought a small little Christmas tree. So anyway, I didn't know what I was going to put on the tag. It was a nice little Christmas tree and all the ornaments and everything. There was no lady that used to call her the bag lady. And one day she went to pick up the bottles on the great big bed outside, and she fell in. So Bill Ross was working there then, and he helped her to hit her road. So I said to myself, that's what I'm going to put on the Christmas card. So anyway, I told Kelly, I said, "You follow deliver the Christmas tree," and I said, "Put from the bag lady, Merry Christmas." And I said, "Tell Mrs. Moore to take the tree up to the staff room." So that's what he done. So when we went for our break in the afternoon, 3 o'clock, there was a Christmas tree on the table. And anybody was wondering who bought the Christmas tree, and I'm damn sure that the bag lady didn't buy it. Just put her name on it. Probably she did. Probably she sent a Christmas tree. But I said they never find out who sent the Christmas tree until the Christmas time I was a Santa Claus. And I told them all about it. That's it. There's Sonny coming.
I was off the side of the head. I was the other top. I was very shy. Father told me there one day, he said, Steve, I was on the charity. He said, you know you drank. He said, when you got a cup of dressing, he was something much, you try then. But then, I was not up in the home.
To make a tape and send it to her.
Go ahead.
And I remember,
For her birthday.
I was brought up in the rest home, and I was always off to eat, and I was always good. My parents tried to do the best they could of what they knew, and they did good. They were always good to us. We always were good going there. I went to school and boarded. There was we all school grades were all together pretty well. We used to try to teach us crazy. They were crazy when they got there. They were before they left. But school was pretty good there too.
Yeah. Wayne got you on the movie. See fashion show on TV all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where'd you go early this morning?
Town clerk, 9:15 appointment. Yep. More healing. I went to French school, pick up my metal cup that I left there Sunday. I just came back from the meeting. Brown bears.
Oh, the bingo and
Another
Lost again.
fellow
Did he?
was killed in the war.
Yeah.
The days when I was young, there was nothing else to do. We didn't have no TV and that, and there was radio and that. I remember when my father used to let me stay up and listen to the hockey matches. I go to sleep and then he'd wake me up and kind of watch the listen to the hockey matches on the radio and that. Listen to the fights on the radio and that. But I went on. We all were border was pretty close to people there. Everybody knew their business and that, their own business. But it was a pretty good place, I guess, to be brought up in. I went to university there for St. Dunstan High School 1 year. Growing up then, the fella was mostly home on me, but I don't know why, I always hung much older than myself. I don't know why, I always did. I guess I thought it was good to be seeing the older people and that. I began to thought I would, somebody told my father something I didn't, I would have heard him, I disagree with him. I would have heard him, and I did it though. But we played hockey one day, he'd find out. And, well, we used to go up to the yard there to beat all the box cars. We used to just play and talk the cars and lay around there. Anyways, there was a couple of fellas drinking beer there, and they were coming up and they were opening the beer with their teeth. Somebody told me, Father, that I was opening beer with my teeth. And stuff like that. But I went on there pretty good there. It was a good spot. It was very good there. We went there and I kind of enjoyed bringing it up. I kind of got to see the fellas at the top with the old times there, the stuff that happened down there. One time it used to be the worst school in Pediatric. It was the bad school in Pediatric. Couldn't get teachers at all. And that, it was good. I guess that's all I got to say.
And Debbie was living in an apartment on Water Street. She had a little girl by the name of Desiree. So anyway, Debbie was working at the manor, and I decided to take Desiree. I was babysit Desiree, and I decided to take her to the carnival. So anyway, when we got to the carnival, we walked around, and then we got to the pool where they were all swimming. And Desiree wanted to go swimming. She's only about 2 years old. And I said, no, you can't go swimming because I can't swim. I can't go in the pool. And Desiree started to cry, and her lip was hanging down. And I said, well, you better stop crying. Just watch the kids swimming in the pool. So she kept on crying, and her lip was hanging down, and I felt sorry for her. So I picked her up, and we started to walk back to Debbie's apartment. So on the way down, Desiree shit herself. And I said, there was a beach there across from Cook Grady. So I took her down there, and I took her pepper off, and I washed her bum in the water. She was still crying, and her lip was hanging down, and I felt so sorry for her. And then I took her pepper and I buried in the sand, and I put her pants back on. So we got home. I did Debbie's apartment. I gave her a bath, and I gave her a drink of milk, and I said, you better lay down and have a sleep. She's tired. That's the end of the story for Desiree.
Pretty. Vicky. Vicky. You like going to the park, Biscuit? Do you like going to the park? Daddy loves you. Yes,
That
he
was
does.
Gil Bishop, was it?
You're a pretty boy
Yeah.
too, yes you are. Oh,
Gil
so
Bishop's
pretty,
kid.
so pretty. Do you like the cats? Do you like the cats? Do you like chasing cats? Do you like chasing birds? Eh? Do you like a cookie? Would you like a cookie? Daddy get you a cookie.
I want to say something about when Debbie was born. She was born in 4 o'clock in the morning at the hospital. I stayed there 4 days, and then I come home, and when she was tiny, she never cried very much. But after she got older, she was always crying. And so anyway, when she was 2-year-old, she was awful pretty. She had long, light hair with all the curls hanging down her neck. But anyway, I was working at Stedman, and one day I got Mr. Weatherby, the boss, came over, and he said, Marie, a little girl got hit by a truck. Well, I nearly flopped. I had to rush home, found out what was going on. So anyway, I had a housekeeper, and she gave Debbie 10 cents to go over to Johnny Monahan and buy a package of gum. And we live in our apartment, and there was a driveway, and the propane gas was in the back, and the truck used to go in and out. Desiree, she was 2-year-old, she didn't watch. So she came across the driveway while the truck was coming in. And he hit her and she flew up in the air. And the ambulance come and took her to the hospital. And then I went straight to the hospital from work. When I got to the hospital, Debbie was in the cast from the neck down. So anyway, she didn't stay in the hospital. In them days, you had to pay for your way in the hospital. It cost $400. And I was wondering how I was going to pay that. I was only making $25 a week. So anyway, I stayed home. I never went back to work. I was trying to find out what's going to happen. So anyway, I took Debbie home. And then in the afternoon, Auburn Landry came over. He was driving the truck and he felt bad. And he said, Marie, he said, don't worry about paying the hospital. He said, I got insurance and it's going to pay for her bill. But it was all for her to wash Debbie in her cast. I said, she tried to get downstairs, tried to go out. She wanted to go to Johnny Monahan everywhere. And I had to sleep with her every night. And when I sound asleep, she should turn around in her cat. And she had a knife stuck up in the air with a cat, and she used to hit me in the back. I didn't have very good sleep. So anyway, after she got settled down to wear that cast, started to go downstairs, and then she fall down. All she was all for her to watch. She get the cast all cracked up. So anyway, I was all right. So I got over that. And then I decided to quit my job at Stedman and go to work at Jenkins' factory because I was getting more hours. So anyway, one day when I was working, I got a call from Reggie Hawkins that Debbie was hit by a car again. She's 9 years old. And this former truck was coming around the back of Holman, and Debbie was there writing on a cement with a white chalk. I got a call saying that Debbie was hit by a truck again. So that was a van. Yeah, kind of a big van. So she landed in the hospital again. So anyway, I got home and I asked the babysitter. I said, where were you at? She said, well, Bobby and Wayne and Debbie left together. They were playing in the back of the Fernwood. So anyway, I had to rush to the hospital again. And Debbie was in the crib outside the hallway, and nobody was waiting for her, and she was crying blue murder. So I was getting mad, so I went to the nurse and I said, I want a doctor, and I want you folks to look after that child. Well, she said, Mrs. Gillis, there's a little boy was hit by a car today, and she said they tried to look after that little boy. And I said, well, there should be more than one doctor in this hospital. I said, I want you to give Debbie a needle so she will calm down. So that way they gave her a needle. And I stayed there until she fell asleep. So anyway, that night they had to operate on her. It took 6 hours. She had a broken pelvis. And she didn't have any broken bone. That's all she had. It was a broken pelvis. And they had to stay in the hospital for a week. And I had to travel back and forth. So anyway, after she got better, I took her home. And I changed my babysitter. I got somebody else that I rely on. So anyway, when Debbie was a teenage, she was growing up fast, 12-year-old, 13, 14. Well, it was hard to look after a teenage girl that day. Because they had no TV or nothing, and there was a bunch of girls hanging around, and well, I went through that. So anyway, the part that when she grew up, well, not much I could do about it. She was on her own half the time. She went to Alberta, worked when she was 16. She worked in DVA hospital. She was a hard worker. So anyway, she come home from Alberta one time, and well, she the way that she went to Alberta that time, I didn't know she was going. She was working at the Queen Hotel in Charlottetown, her and Linda McDonald. And she made enough money to go to Alberta. So anyway, I didn't know where she was because she never let me know where she was going. So anyway, Linda McDonald's mother was an old woman. She was a bad alcoholic. She was drunk, and she called the hospital. She called the Lincoln Hotel and told me that Linda and Debbie hitchhiked to Alberta, and they got killed by a train. Well, I sit there for a while. I didn't know what to think. But anyway, I called Dolly, her daughter, and I asked Dolly, I said, is that true that Linda and Debbie got killed by a train? She said, who the hell told you that? I said, your mother. Oh, she said, don't listen to my mother, she's crazy. So I kind of settled down then. I went back to work. So they've been staying in Alberta for a while working, and one night she called up. She asked me if she'd come home. I said, yeah. I said, Debbie, you come home anytime. So she come home, and then she stayed home for a while. And I was working at the Lincoln Hotel, and I had 3 girls doing house cleaning. House cleaning the motel in the spring. So Debbie wasn't doing anything, she wasn't making any money. So she got a job at the bag factory, cutting string off of the filter bag. The finger was all taped. She didn't like it, she quit. So anyway, I said, You want a job? I'll give you a job at the Nicola Motel, a house clean. Well, Debbie had quit school when she was 14, and I said to her one day, I said, you also quit the school? Well, I said, you damn well go to work and earn your own money. So anyway, she worked till the end of the house clean. That was 6 weeks. After she was all done house clean at the Nicola Motel, lifting big mattress and everything, she said, I'm going back to school. She said, this is no life for me. So she went back to school, and she went to Hull College, to the nursing academy. And she became an LNA, and that finished there. And then she kept on going till she got her graduate. And then after that, she decided to go to university. And she went to university for 4 years. And she graduated. I was the only one there when she graduated that day. The school was packed full when they graduated, and I had my camera and I was taking pictures. Yeah. So anyway, that's the end of the story for Debbie. And she turned out good. She married a good man, and she's having a good life, and she don't get hit by a truck again. Another story that happened in my life. After my husband and I broke up, I was expecting Wayne, and his father was working on the car ferry. So anyway, I used to work at the restaurant next door to my apartment, and he called Vardy, Al Vardy's restaurant, and they were a newbie, and he was in the Air Force, and his wife Kay used to run the restaurant. I used to go over there, wait on the table at dinner time to make a few dollars. So anyway, one night, they had a little boy, and he was deformed. He didn't have a mouth, and he was deaf, but he could see. And the woman, the Nupi woman's name was Kay, and she used to keep him in the bathtub while she was working the restaurant. Also, she was a wino, drank all the time. So, that poor little boy was 3-year-old, and he was about the size of a rabbit. So small. And he was skin and bone. I don't know. I don't know how that little boy ever lived that long. But anyway, one morning I got up to go to work, and there was a box on the doorstep. And I was wrapped up in the blanket, and I look in it, and it was that little boy. I knew who it was. So I took the box in, and I had a crib because I was expecting Wayne. I was expecting Wayne, so I had a crib ready for him. I was just had a month a month to, I think I had more than a month. I think I had 2-3 months. So I changed his clothes and I gave him a bath, warm it up. And when he was born, he didn't have a mouth. So they took him to Toronto hospital, and they kind of cut up the hole so they could feed him. It's not the only way he could be fed, to that hole. And so anyway, I didn't go back. I went back to see what was going on at the restaurant. When I got there, the restaurant was closed and all that, everything was gone. And I didn't know where they went. So anyway, I went to the Fernwood, and there was a girl that lived at the Fernwood. She was she was working for the Al Barry's restaurant. And her name was, I can't think of her name. But anyway, she said to me, she said, Albert, they moved out last night. They had to move her and they moved to New Brunswick. But she said, I don't know, I don't have the address or anything. Well, I said, what's the name of God did they leave the baby in my doorstep for? She said, I didn't know, I thought they took the baby with them. So I went back home. I had no job. But my husband was working on a car ferry. So anyway, I looked after him for 6 months. By that time, well, I was ready to go to the hospital. So I didn't know what I was going to do, so I called Helen, what the heck was her name? Helen McCory. Her husband's name was George, and he worked at the town hall. So I went to the town hall, and I asked George, I said, is your wife still got something to do with the welfare? He said, yeah. And I said, will you tell your wife that I want to see her? So anyway, that night, Miss McCorley came over, and I told her, I said, I expect him Wayne. Well, I didn't know your name then, but it was Wayne. So I said, I can't look after that little boy any longer. She said, I didn't know you had that little boy. She said, how come you got him? Well, I had to tell the whole story. Well, she said, they tried to put that baby in the orphanage in Charlottetown, but they couldn't take it because they belonged to Newfoundland. She said, you know where they went? And I said, no. I said, all I know, they moved to New Brunswick. I don't know where. So, and I went, she said, would I like to see the little boy? And when she saw the little boy, she already had seen him before. And she said, oh my God, she said, that baby was skin and bone, and it was in the crib, an apartment on Water Street. And she said he was just skin and bone. And I had fed him and everything, and poured milk in his mouth, that little hole to feed him. And I said, he was right fat, and he would stand up in the crib, and he used to crawl all over the crib. And she couldn't believe it, how good the little boy looked. So that way, She said, I'll tell you what I'll do. She said, I'll try to find out where they're at, and I'll take the baby boy back. I said, no doubt. I said, they want to take him back. Well, she said, I'll try. So anyway, she went to New Brunswick. At first, she got down in early in the morning, and she had some clothes for the baby. She had it was in March, and it was cold, so she had a snowsuit for him, and she had socks, and a whole fit to dress him. So I dressed him up, and she took him, and she went to New Brunswick. She inquired in New Brunswick, but she was there where Al Vardy was living. So I guess she went to the police station, and they found out. So she took the little boy there, and when she got to the door at Al Vardy, she said, I got your little boy. She said Mrs. Gillis said can't look after anymore because she's expecting the baby. She said it was an awful thing of you fellas, she said, to leave that little boy at Mrs. Gillis' doorstep. So anyway, he said, we don't want him. Just take it back whenever you got it. She said, well, I can't do that. So anyway, she took the baby back to Summerside, and then she got in touch with an orphanage in Montreal. So anyway, after that, she said that she came to visit me, and she said, I go to Montreal quite often to see that little boy. She said, I don't know why, she said. She was kind of, not old, but she was over 50-year-old anyway. So she said one day she came over, and she had a picture of him. And he was a grown-up boy, but he still couldn't talk, but he had good hands, good eyes, and he used to feed himself. He'd take his food, press it in his mouth with his finger. And she said, never knows the same one. But she said, if you took a good look at him, you know it's the same one because of the count of his mouth. Well, I said, I'm glad that he got along good, because I felt so sorry for that little fellow. I said, she said, I told the priest at the church, and she said, I know you wasn't there, because she said, you were in the hospital. And the priest said, God bless Mrs. Gillis, said, take care of that little boy, said. You know, it's really, he said, sad for people to drop a little boy like that, helpless little boy, Mrs. Gillis' doorstep. So anyway, that finished there. I came home and I had you, and then I didn't have to look after that little boy, but I kept thinking about him. I felt bad when she took him, but I said to myself, I gotta be strong, I can't keep him. And that's it. That's one story in my life. But there's so many stories that happened, I couldn't tell them all.
Welcome, Marie Richard from the Magdalen Islands, making her first appearance on American Idol, playing the harmonica. Thank you.
caused by wind. So good.
Folks, we're here in downtown Summerside. Just trying to figure out what the news is in the Guardian. And it's Wayne Jerome's birthday. 53 today. Imagine. 53 hard years. Surviving. But he's a survivor. So we're going to have lots of cake and ice cream, so we hope you can join us. The star of the show, she'll be here, Liz Taylor. Little Maria, she'll be front and center with a big smile for everyone. And we've got Desiree, she's the next star of the show. And the birthday boy, of course. He'll be here as well. And my dear sister, Judith Elsie, she'll be here with bells on. So we're going to have a nice supper here. Roast beef dinner and cake and ice cream. And we hope you can come and join us. What did you do today? Working or you?
No, just went to council this morning.
Did you?
There's pictures I got. I didn't know it was in the house, so I got some done. This is like before I went to the trip, so that's before everything happened. Hi, Sonny.
Hi, Joey. How you?
Not fine.
Over there.
That's Jeff.
Is it?
Yeah, so he looks like Manny. He did, he looks real well.
You want to be on the movie?
Brandon's birthday tomorrow. Got a pool party.
There's nothing going on there.
You didn't know anything? No. Just the Lucy business I did then.
Did you?
Nice, your trip?
We went out on this, we're not allowed to gamble in the States unless you're in Las Vegas, right?
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
So,
didn't know that either.
no, I didn't either. So they have these big cruise ships that'll come in, take you about 3 miles out, it's free,
Yeah.
go out on the
Yeah.
ship. And if you gamble, all your drinks are free. I said, what?
Yeah. Oh, where's the light? Where's the light? Happy
Gillis.
birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Wayne. Happy birthday to you.
Hopefully when I get old with you, I get you for work. There, right.
That's good. How do you say happy birthday in French? Bon appetit à vous. Bon appetit à vous.
Yeah, can you zoom in and or out on this thing?
There's pictures there.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, zoom.
Oh, today?
I never used one of these before.
See, that's a zoom.
Okay.
Hello, Miss.
Oh, yeah.
53 today.
53.
Yeah, 53.
The big five.
On his age test, he's, what are you, Wayne?
38.
38. You must have lied.
No, I didn't, no. I
Mine was 43 the first time,
No, back when you.
and I had to pay back the second time, I was 53. So I did it. Right.
There's the cake. Happy birthday, Wayne Shipface.
And that got to be on those
Guys.
What?
That got to be on there?
I don't know, it says record on it.
Close, because it makes a picture off a bit.
Yeah, I know.
You don't, yeah, that's right.
Because you were
Happy
so
25th
immature.
birthday,
No.
Wayne Shipface.
Step back on the door then. And wait.
He wasn't looking for that word.
You got enough light there?
Yeah, I want to get the other cake.
You wanna what?
I want to get this one too.
Yeah, that's a lot of process.
2 cakes. Happy birthday, Wayne. You don't have to have this plugged in all the time, I don't think, Wayne.
No, I got to get a battery. The battery's low.
So can I unplug it?
What?
Can I unplug it right now?
No, you unplug it, you won't have no power. The
Uh,
battery's wore out.
oh,
You know
okay.
anybody else?
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Wayne. You want some icing or ice cream?
Compass here.
Yeah.
Do we know anybody else by the name of Wayne? We could give them a birthday cake?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh?
Freezer for next year.
Oh, we sent some cake to.
Can you freeze cake?
Oh, yeah.
Well, you can, but
Probably wouldn't be that good, would it?
you want more
Well,
ice
you
cream?
don't freeze for very long.
Well, I
Yeah,
don't want
yeah, I don't have ice cream. I don't eat ice cream very often.
That's all I want.
Well, candy, plum cake.
That's all I want.
That's all you want. You don't have to make a face.
Hey, now you two are fighting.
They're cute, they fight,
Yeah. First
You
time
get that
I'm
right?
picking on mother.
Yeah, I did
picking
Take
on me.
Boy's cake first.
Yeah, really, Granny looks good in that color orange.
He does.
I like the color hair. I like that.
Yeah.
I think it looks good.
That's a nice cake.
It's not right dark like it used to be.
Here, Wayne.
Yeah. I just got that today.
Down there, enjoy yourself.
I'm gonna
Have a little bit of cake.
rewind the film after a while.
We're gonna see.
The book.
Good, but you can zoom out once and zoom in
Is it
once.
record on there? Is it showing record?
Yeah, it says record. But you know what I mean?
There's 2 buttons there or something, isn't it?
Yeah, but it only zooms. Oh, that's too close. I just zoomed in when I take that bite.
Can you zoom in on my crutch now?
No, I zoomed in while you're taking a bite.
Yeah, but I might as well take it out.
Oh my goodness, Wayne, you're so sick.
That ice cream is good.
They'll be charging you with child pornography.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're getting sicker as you get older.
Deprived.
I go out and I have fun and I think if I take it too far, I back up.
Huh?
Because I don't want to, insult anybody.
You don't want to slap in the nose. You're protecting yourself.
And people think
That's many
that,
people want to slap in the nose.
people think I'm
Exactly.
crazy. Last Friday I went to the wing, Dad, Susan was there, Susan White,
Oh, yes, she's so straight.
and as I was walking in, I gabbled her and gives her a big kiss on the cheek.
Yeah?
I said, my God, I missed you. A few minutes later, she's right over keeping me company.
Yeah. There's a lot of hungry women out there.
Yeah.
Starving
is.
for love.
I should probably turn this off.
Yeah.
How do I turn this off?
Record button.
Oh,
Just
hit
hit the
record.
record
Yeah.
button.
Nice actually, it's a nice brand, good brand.
It's a nice, I thought it would look different. I thought it would be older looking.
Which one's mine, that?
What's wrong with it?
Nothing. Oh, the ice cream's yellow.
It's called French vanilla.
Oh,
French vanilla is that color.
I think I'll have some green tea.
I have gold, fine, go ahead.
Wow.
I think it's almost become a destination for people who want, the young people who want to see rabbits. They'll go specifically, to
It's
find it.
promoted on the website of White Point Beach Lodge, and when you drive in there, the sign says, watch out for children and rabbits. Anyone can go to the beach, you don't have to be staying at the lodge, it's a public beach. And took
This kid.
photographs and
Pretty boy.
sketches. And I was
Get the
looking for
rabbit.
this black rabbit, there's a black rabbit with a white nose.
Get the rabbit.
Find one.
Get him.
anywhere. So I finally turned around and there was one having a drink of water.
Gerald said happy birthday too.
What?
Gerald.
Who's that?
Gerald, Noel's brother,
Oh,
said happy birthday.
yeah?
Yeah, I was talking to him today.
Where's Nola?
That's
So you
good.
live with the guy? Oh,
Living with a girl at West.
oh, is he? Do you
Oh,
remember
that's
him? Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I must have met him, I just don't remember him.
Her fruit bear.
No, I do remember.
Yeah. Is he good looking?
That's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Miss Claire.
Poor little tea. Gerald told me
Yeah.
my Debbie Kathy's one day, I was there having tea and he was wanting me to have tea. He said, well, you might come over here. So
Yeah.
Trespass.
after he left, I said, the tea, I said, you eat too? I said, I don't like old men.
Well, she's young.
Yeah, I know. I should have said it. I put her on the spot.
Yeah.
Good idea, Wayne.
Biscuit, you're really
Yeah.
Hey, well, right.
Rip around.
To grandma. To grandma.
Grammy, you love having such an important part of my life. Today I just want to say thanks for all the wonderful memory of Hope's birthday.
This is a lies.
It's full of same kind of happiness that you always give me.
You'd like get hair in your pants.
Happy birthday, Grammy.
Yeah, she sheds.
Wasting on it.
Oh, getting rid of the winter coats.
Spend another birthday with you. Love, Desiree, and Mitchell. Yeah.
Yeah, the new son-in-law.
When's the wedding?
Never.
Oh, wow, that's good.
Hey, don't say that.
Another couple of years getting to know us, you think, why did I get involved with them people?
No, I'm pretty sure if he's still here, then.
I sing, son.
Let me start.
Say happy
You
birthday.
guys been going together for a while now.
Happy birthday.
Amazing.
Oh, yeah.
I don't have a pillow of my camera that I can take pictures.
She's taking pictures.
Grammy, say cheese!
Hello, Desiree. Don't get any more surprised. Well, this year, this is 2009.
No.
And I'm celebrating another birthday. And I hope I live to be 100. But I won't want to drag my arse on the ground when I'm 100. Don't wait for any more because I ain't talking no more.
Well, you gotta blow the candles out on the
We're
cake?
going to celebrate.
Somebody likes the candles?
Here,
Candles.
I got the,
You got enough lighters around this place?
geez, what, I don't want
See
to
the
pop
new
it off.
smoking laws that come in?
No, I don't care.
There
What are
goes.
they?
Oh, you're not gonna be able to smoke on
Sidewalk,
sidewalk or patios, there's gonna be no designated.
So Grammy
smoke.
couldn't go out on her patio and smoke?
No, I mean for.
Clubs are doing away with the
Oh,
clubs.
yeah. Or cars, where there's kids.
Yeah, yeah, drive with your.
Well, yeah, I thought that was already law. That should definitely be a law.
Well, they smoke outside, they bring the smoke into the case anyway.
Yeah,
You see them over there now smoking outside?
Yeah.
yeah.
Cause I had heard him with the doctor that I did smoke, he said, you do smoke, I smoke it. He didn't smell no smoke off
There
me.
you go, happy
Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Leah. Happy birthday to you. And many more.
Give me a small piece.
Oh, no, you
I
gotta
don't know
blow,
where I'm going to put it.
Yeah, he has it.
Yeah, it wasn't your supper.
you gonna blow the candles
Not a
out?
big supper.
Blow the candles out.
More.
Spit on the cake
I
now.
almost
Sick of the cake.
All right.
Yeah, do a picture
You
of
have to cut
Grammy
the
and
cake
cake,
there.
baby. There.
Okay, let her cut the cake. You cut the cake, Maria? Yeah, we could.
Trees don't care the bush are trees.
That's my piece.
Oh, take half the cake.
Everybody gotta cut their own piece.
Oh, no, it's okay.
All right.
Just sit down and relax.
There's the, ice cream desk.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Kettle on for a cup of tea, and I like the trees they have
Want to
there.
get the, ice cream?
I think that's gonna fall there.
Large, ain't it?
Oh, Wayne, one's gonna be mad at ya.
There is no cake in here.
Way back.
Ice cream.
Right here, the ice cream's out here.
Oh, okay. That's what I meant.
Everything but, you gotta cut down salt, fried food.
His whole diet was,
Yeah.
he had the worst diet of any living human being.
I know, but he's really fussy, like he doesn't like a lot of
Oh, I
things.
know.
You don't like fish,
Oh, no.
vegetables?
Yeah,
We're on the camera.
last supper.
Yeah.
May 31st, it's Sunday.
Well, you missed it the last time, Greg. The last episode here.
Birthday, 26. Close to
Debbie
the
had a
30.
pair of jeans on, and
You're your own and
after a while,
Carrie's come home to live.
I dropped the camera.
Gary,
It got the big earth right on it.
You know Carrie.
Oh, yeah.
She's coming over to live, she doesn't like that aesthetics. Josh, it's too hard on her arms.
Yeah.
She's going back. Is that what you're saying?
Well, then never mind.
Blessings, share with blessings.
Right, and that's when we went to church dinner, but all the pop up dinner. Why?
Happy birthday to you.
Oh, yeah, right, it's got that.
To you.
Happy birthday, dear Desiree. Happy birthday to you. And many more.
Make a wish.
Sorry.
Oh, you're gonna hate this picture. Sorry, thanks. I'll take another.
Why?
Because I got her just in
Okay,
case.
then you just take your copies to the,
I'll show you.
yeah.
You tell me whether I have to destroy it or not.
This is a perfect cake. It's nice and small. It's
Yeah.
not too big.
Perfect timing. Oh, that's not so bad.
No,
That's not so
I
bad.
don't think this is.
all right.
Oh, that's good.
Great.
Rock shot.
All right.
Yeah, no, that's.
Wait, can I have anything in my teeth?
Debbie, did you find that water, hot water?
I just took
Yeah,
it out.
getting it hot there now.
Almost 30, Wayne.
Yeah, you're wiser, the question.
Yeah, you're still
What?
very young.
Are you any wiser?
I don't know.
Yeah, she is.
I like to think
Which one are you?
I tell you, she wasn't.
Are you? Oh, okay.
A few years younger.
Yeah. Yeah, he likes to.
How old are you?
Yeah.
What?
What's gonna make you short?
I'd have to go and spend a couple of months going every day.
Yeah.
And if my physiology changed, my strength is down now, then, yeah.
I thought my legs were much stronger.
What are you talking about going?
5.
Yeah.
T-zone.
T-zone.
Yeah, I want to try that.
Well, Des picked this out, so she knows.
Yeah.
I just gave her money.
You should try them on, Jody, see what you think of them. They're called Fit Flop. Well, they're like F-I-T.
They're
Oh.
supposed to be really good for your back and
Oh, is that right?
your legs and your calf muscles and your
See
bum.
the thing here? They're like $70.
They're just Crocs that are elevated.
Yeah, and I like that they're not flat. I can't wear flat.
Hey, you're cute. Did you get a source for sports?
Yeah. Well, they had them. I've been looking at them on the internet for a year, and they finally got them.
I just can't believe that the Source of Sports can log this kind of horseshit on you guys and you
This
win it for $80
woman,
for
this
it.
woman,
You're comfortable.
No, I talked to somebody who had them.
this woman, she
You
said,
take same size as me, Des.
Plus, I can't wear flat flip-flops. I need something good.
Those things that Debbie has are awesome.
Sweet.
aren't they cute?
Ah.
I don't know.
And they don't pressure the toe.
They're really nice to try on.
Oh, I might get one from my first picture.
Now, I got these, they're Crocs.
Those are nice sandals.
These are 44.
They're the same thing. It's an
Those are too
elevated
big for
Croc.
me.
Oh, you got those at the same place? I like these without the,
So you do like them?
Yeah, well,
They're exactly the same sandal for half price.
is that right?
Now, these I better, I wear better, because I don't like things between my toes.
Yeah, those are cute.
They aren't
Oh,
cute,
this
eh?
one? Oh, I thought it was in that bag.
No.
Did you know that just us?
There now, look, he blew the candles out and he's coughing.
Yeah.
It's Sonny's birthday. He's 74 today. Would you like to say anything about your age or anything?
I'm still as pretty as I was when I was a baby.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, happy birthday, Sonny, on his 74th birthday. Now we'll all have cake and ice cream.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, yeah, I was like, what's
Get everybody on.
This is,
You can watch TV together.
July 31st?
No, I didn't know. It surprised me. I know, my friend's always on like Facebook and MSN and like, damn, yeah.
And this is our sister Gillis' birthday?
You can go on the internet with mine.
Here.
I go on MSN too, I can do all that stuff.
You're totally oblivious, Julia.
I'm always out there making small.
This is the whole family. We're a Google Drive, aren't we?
You must, does it cost a lot to go on the internet on yours? I just got the everything's all food.
And this is our adopted sister Sherlock.
And let's keep us here.
Yeah.
Satellite radio.
That's our hospital. I want to
Cake over here. You like cake?
Mother, we're getting that 5-generational picture today.
Yeah.
There, the tea and...
Yeah, you gotta get you some
The other half of your gift is coming, it's on order.
What is it?
Yeah. I thought it'd be in this week, but it's all due. Take the check in the mail. Yeah, the check's in the mail.
You got mail? Hey, come here. Hi, how you doing? Hey.
Mom, is there?
Oh, that's nice, Debbie. Look at the puppy. I love birds.
See ya. Give me a mugshot. That'll do.
That makes more rainbow to open the door. We're doing their recipes. Hey. Take this again.
Take a picture.
Cranky old fella.
And the other part of your gift is the red book, whether you want it, face the way.
Oh, yeah, good.
I ordered you one.